The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system.
It was the voice of a courageous explorer, a man dedicated to the pursuit of man's knowledge and the expansion of his horizons.
Good morning. Here is Nathan Ivey.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tools made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono B the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivey, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio, here's the king of superlative flows, Nathan Ivey.
Back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nathan Ivey. We are broadcasting live from the heart of the city of Cincinnati. And I'm back with more criticisms and witticisms on people, politics, and pleasure. If you would like to transform your brainwaves into internet talk radio waves this morning, here is my number, 513-873-7134. Do me a favor, lock me in. Lock me in. Save me into your contacts. 513-873-7134. Good morning, choppers. How was the weekend? Hope you got some rest. Hope you got it in. Hope you made some money. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Whatever your plan was, I hope it worked out for you. I hope that the team that you were betting on for the weekend's games worked. I mean, to the choppers, I send you nothing but positive vibes. Good morning. Currently 7:10 a.m. Today is January 9th, 2017. In less than 2 weeks, Donald Trump will be inaugurated as the 45th president of these United States. That's right, Donald Trump. And the Republican Party is planning. In fact, they're promising that he's going to be busy. He's going to be busy. That first day, they're going to repeal Obamacare. Damn it, they want to wipe Obama's name from the history books on the first day. They're going to make America great on the first day. I mean, this show, the Donald Trump show, okay, that's what I deem it. It is not the Donald Trump administration. It's the Donald Trump show. He is running this. He is playing the media as if he is doing a reality show. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have cameras rolling so they can sell it afterward. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to repeal Obamacare. They're going to destroy all these government programs and institutions and departments that we don't need, wasting all that taxpayer money. Hey, that's good money we can give to the military industrial complex. How dare you? That's money that we can give to our rich friends in terms of tax breaks. How dare you waste this? The EPA. What does that even mean? Protecting the environment. God will protect the environment. So these guys they're promising everything on the first day, including, don't forget this is Donald Trump's signature piece of his entire campaign. What was it, y'all? What was Donald Trump's signature piece? What was his signature talking point? What was his bedrock promise if you voted for him? that he was going to build a wall on the southern border. Now, I thought the moment that the idea left his brain and left his mouth that it was DOA, dumb as hell on arrival. I know it doesn't match, but it was dumb as hell on arrival. DHOA. It was DHOA, dumb as hell on arrival. It never made any sense. It's a priority that no one had, but it's great television. See, smart politicians create what they run against. A guy by the name of Charlie Winburn's pretty good at that here in the city of Cincinnati. Every election cycle, he would create some evil. Some foe of the great public good, and he would have run against it. That's what Donald Trump did. We need a wall. Yeah, we need a wall, Donald. That's exactly what we need. Ready to go. A great wall, like China. White folks are always trying to appropriate other cultures' ideas. So now Donald Trump supporters want to they want a wall. And Donald Trump promised them a wall. Oh, but now that he's in office, things done changed. Things done changed. Oh, Donald said that Mexico was going to pay for this wall. Damn it. The Mexicans are going to pay for it, even if they don't want to. Has that ever? Now think about how antithetical that is to the conservative concept that government is not going to force you to do anything. And yet you have so many conservatives and Republicans. I'm a real Republicans calling out fake Republicans. You're a rhino, which means Republican in name only. I'm a real conservative. I'm a Tea Party conservative. And they're applauding a man that's going to use the power of the government to just make somebody else pay for something. It's antithetical. Okay? The actions defy the rhetoric. But listen, I got a clip I want to play for you because I don't want the Nathan Ivey Show listeners to ever forget that Donald Trump promised not only that he was going to build a big, beautiful wall, it was damn near psychosexual. Donald Trump was going, into the heartland of white America, talking about how he was going to build a big, tall, beautiful. I mean, it's full of phallic symbols, right? A lot of these good old boys can't get it up anymore, but hey, with Donald, they feel robust again. They feel alive again. We're going to build a big, tall, beautiful, impenetrable wall. Don't forget Donald Trump. And he said that Mexico was going to pay for it. But let me tell you what's going down now. But first, there's this.
Are you ready? Are you ready? I will build the wall. We're going to build a wall. We will build a great wall. We're going to build a great wall. And we're going to have a door in the wall. We're going to build a wall. I would build a great wall. We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice. We're going to build that wall. And nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. We're going to build the wall. We are going to build the wall. We're going to build a wall. I will build a great, great wall. The wall just got 10 feet taller, believe me. The wall just got 10 feet higher. It got 10 feet taller. How easy is that? It's going to happen, okay? That wall will go up. It's going to happen. It's going to go up. Impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall. These people come up to me, they say, Donald, you don't really mean we're going to build a wall, do you? And I say, absolutely we're going to build a wall, 100%. It's going to be a real wall. There's going to be a real wall. It's going to be a real wall. It will be a real wall. It's going to be a real wall. A real wall. And Mexico will pay for the wall. Mexico is going to pay for it, and they'll be happy to pay for it. The wall is going to be paid for by Mexico. They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for the wall. We're going to make them pay for that wall. But they're going to pay for the wall. Trust me, Mexico will pay for it. And I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Yeah. Mark my words. Mexico's going to pay for the wall 100%. 100%. 100%. Who is going to pay for the wall? Who? Who's going to pay for the wall? Who? Build that wall. 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 Build that wall.
That's Donald Trump. He says, build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. A shout out to the Young Turks for that clip. Build that wall. So building a wall, and not only building a wall, but having the temerity to claim that you're going to make Mexico pay for it. Don't forget that. Now, here's what's really going on. There's a crack in Trump's wall. There's a crack in Trump's wall idea. Because now Donald Trump is admitting that the taxpayers are going to pay for that wall. You're going to pay for the wall. Build that wall. You love it, don't you? Build that wall. Build that wall. You're going to pay for the wall. And then Donald Trump is insisting, as a matter of fact, he's promising that Mexico is going to pay for it later. Is that what you had in mind? Is that what you had in mind? Dear Republican, is that what you had in mind? That's not what Donald Trump said. That sounds like credit. I don't want to build a wall on credit. And analysts are predicting that the wall is going to cost about $10 billion, which means it's going to cost $50 billion. Donald Trump is insisting it's only going to cost $8 billion. So a lot of Donald Trump's hand-picked cronies, his friends, people that curry favor with him, are going to get paid with construction contracts. Here's what I think. I think that rather than spending $10 billion to build a wall that's not going to work anyway, the only way it's going to work is that it will erect sort of this phallic symbol for older white males. That's all it is. I mean, that's the degree to which these guys are impotent, that they are flaccid, that they need to actually erect a wall. Think about that. The erection of this wall may be the only erection some of these dudes are having in their life. They need this wall, y'all. Don't take this wall from these white male Republicans. They need it. They need it. Speaking of erections, look for a sex scandal involving Melania Trump and some of the Secret Service guys. I'm just watching some footage the other day, and I thought I saw something. You heard it here first. Look for that. You know Donald ain't hitting that right. Come on now. Keep it real. 513-873-7134. They don't call them Secret Service for nothing. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I like it. There's a crack in Trump's wall. The crack is that the taxpayers are going to have to pay for it. And here's the deal. The Republicans don't care. See, here's the deal. This election wasn't about politics. This election wasn't about politics. It wasn't about what are the best ideas for the people, because Donald Trump really hasn't given any of the best ideas. He didn't give the best ideas during the campaign. He does not have the best ideas. The Republican Party right now does not have the best ideas on how to lift up the people. They have the best ideas on how to concentrate wealth in the hands of very few. They have great ideas about that. The election of 2016 was not about politics. It was about gender to some degree. It wasn't about anything other than we don't want Barack Obama in the White House anymore. The Republican Party was successful in branding the Democrats, in branding Barack Obama, in branding Hillary Clinton. Think about this. Think about this. And I challenged Republicans face to face with the RNC and won every single challenge because they could not argue me this. Number one, what was the harm that was done with the whole Hillary Clinton email fiasco controversy? There is none. The FBI said that it was nothing there. There was no impact whatsoever. So Hillary Clinton got roasted because she used her private email to transfer classified information and classified ideas, things that would open the door for any number of deleterious issues. But yet Donald Trump is using Twitter to basically create and state public policy. And that's okay. See, the Republican Party will allow Donald Trump to do whatever they want because the Republican electorate, people who vote Republicans, they will allow Donald Trump to do whatever he wants for a while until it really starts to impact them. And even then, even when it looks like, wait a minute, this guy was a bad idea, they're still going to roll with Donald Trump. They're still going to roll. You ever heard this sort of little situation before where, like, if you take a frog and you throw it into some hot water, it'll jump right out? But if you take a frog and you put it in like some warm water and you slowly turn the temperature, the frog will just sit there. Those are people that support Donald Trump. They are irredeemable, folks. They can't be saved. On some levels, it can't be saved. Let me turn my attention locally. Locally, it's starting to heat it up more and more and more. I'm going to reach out to the mayor. I'm going to reach out to Yvette Simpson. Yvette will be first. And the reason why is because I promised Yvette she could come on the show, and we just haven't connected and set it up. But of the three candidates, the incumbent, the mayor John Cranley, Yvette Simpson, and now Rod Richardson Jr., I want to have Yvette Simpson on the Nathan Ivey Show first, so she can, we can hear her thoughts. Why is she running? Why is she better suited? This thing is going to be interesting for the Democrat Party locally. Because you got Rod Richardson Jr. He's got no political experience. Well, I won't say he has no experience as an elected official. And then you've got a woman in Yvette Simpson who is president pro temp, whatever that means. It sounds official. Yeah, make it work for you. She's been on city council, 1-2 terms. Okay. She's been an elected official. She's been down in City Hall. And they are both trying to stop John Cranley, who seems like, hey, if you believe these emails, he got the black community on lock. But when you go down the record of campaign promises, that's going to be a little difficult to argue that he hasn't come through. That's why his opponents now are using the personal card. It's not about politics. It's about people. Treat people right. Because if you're having a conversation just about the mayor's plan, what has happened, it becomes a little bit more difficult sell to claim that he hasn't come through for Cincinnati. It's going to be interesting nonetheless. I can't wait. Did you see the video of the mother who is encouraging her daughter? Now, her daughter is in a fight. And she's actually like, whoop that trick, right? She's like, whoop her ass. And she's taking a lot of heat online right now because parents are saying, like, other parents are like judging her, like, well, how could you do that? You should have broke the fight up. Why are you over here encouraging your daughter to be violent, As a parent, think about it. Something happens and your child is like is in a fight right in front of you. Okay? And your child going at it. I mean, what do? Do you break in? That's my baby. Or is it a teaching moment? I mean, if your daughter was in a fight, if your son was in a fight right in front of you, now, you can jump in there and break it up. Yeah, you can try that. Or you can watch it. You can try that. Or, you can encourage her to stomp the life out of her. And that's essentially what this mother decided to do. She took the latter approach. And you can hear her in the audio, hey, whoop that ass. And I've seen that with my own eyes before. I've seen that with mom and daughter. I've seen that before. And, I mean, what's a responsible parent supposed to do? I mean, you want to teach your child to be tough. If it's a fair fight, ain't nobody jumping in. Should you jump in? If this other person gets the jump on your child and your child's about to take a death blow, yeah, you got to jump in there. You know, this ain't Sparta. This is not Sparta. Right? But what would you do? And a lot of people just giving his mother heat. Like, how could you do that? You're such a bad parent. Is that really a bad parent? Does that make you a bad parent because your child is involved in a fight? So little Buddha gets into it. She's squaring up, right? And no, I want to see. I want her to learn. I want her to learn. I see Sarinthia. I'm inside the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. I told you I'm in here several times a day, whether I post or not, because I asked you, friends of the Nathan Ivey Show, to post things, and I can integrate that into the show. And Sarinthia, she shared something that I definitely got to check out. I agree. It is essential viewing, and that is this documentary, with James Baldwin. Have you seen this? I may play a clip of it. Looks very interesting. Now, everyone's not into a documentary, and I have to be in the mood for it. But when I'm in the mood for it, a few things better. It's like I did not know that. And a lot of people are not hip to James Baldwin because, well, maybe because he was homosexual or something. He's sort of frowned upon. He's not really like the go-to choice. I'm not sure why, but James Baldwin was intellectually a beast. He was a giant. And how is it as a brother I can go through my whole high school career and never learn about people like James Baldwin? I didn't learn about James Baldwin until I got into college. What kind of miseducation is that? What are we teaching our children? What are we teaching our children? But enough of that.
Oh, get to the chopper!
Yeah, I get it. Arnold's so pushy these days, isn't he?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
2 weeks.
He's going like, I don't remember.
2 weeks.
Maybe that's what I said.
2 weeks. And Donald Trump lied to the American people. See, on Friday, Donald Trump had this big meeting where he sat down with all the top officials of America's intelligence agencies. And they gave him a briefing. And this is just the genius of Barack Obama, because he knew that Donald Trump probably never would have called for an investigation like this once he becomes the president, because for whatever reason, he's very friendly with Vladimir Putin. And this isn't new. I brought this out. The media didn't make a big deal about this, but this was during a campaign. It was a one-on-one interview. I believe it was with one of the cable networks. I won't call one out because I don't recall which one that it was. And it was an event where the room was filled with members of the armed forces. And Donald Trump sat in this room on cable television. And when asked a question that was sort of like a comparison of Barack Obama, who is the president, and Vladimir Putin, who is not the president, he's the head of another state, and it's not a democracy, authoritarian rule. Donald Trump said glowingly that he thought that Vladimir Putin was a better president than our own president. He said this in front of members of the military, and none of them did anything. They should have stood up and called his ass out like, wait a minute. You can say what you want. We can have these disagreements about policies and Republicans and Democrats, but at the end of the day, we're all Americans. No one said a different thing. No one said anything. There was no resistance. There wasn't even any resistance from the host. I'm like, what kind of whack-ass host is this? So this ain't new. Donald Trump is a big fan of Vladimir Putin. Now, the question is, why? What is it that they want? That's the real question. We'll have to suffer that together during the next 4 years. I'm sure it's going to hit the light of day. It will hit the airwaves. So in less than 2 weeks, there's going to be a new tone to the conversation. There's going to be a new mood. See, President Barack Obama did a lot to put America's fears down about terrorism. He was real about it but he never really talked it super up the way that the previous administration did, because that makes everybody in the country feel very insecure. So say what you want about the current president, Barack Obama, you at least have to give him that he tried to cool down the temperature. Will Donald Trump be the same way? Something tells me no. Something tells me no. So get ready for it. Here's my number again, 513-873-7134.
I hear the chopper's coming. I hear the chopper's coming.
Yeah, I hear him coming too. Let me back up here. Let me back up inside the chop shop. And I see Keisha was first inside the chop shop. Good morning, Keisha. Followed by Mr. Avery. How you doing, Avery? He writes morning. Jericho writes, hey. That's 1, 2, and 3 inside the chop shop for today, Monday, January 9th, 2017. Good morning to you. Good morning, Ashley. Kiki writes, I read Mr. Ivy in the choppers in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, she gonna make me wait. You gonna make me wait for 10 lips, huh? Oh, wait. There's one at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're moving in the right direction, Kiki. Pat writes, good morning, y'all. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the choppers. Good morning to you. Angela writes, good morning. Good Monday morning. Dale writes, good morning. Good Monday morning, Nate and the Hella Choppers. I'll be honest with you. I mean, Tanika's been first so much that I halfway expect for her to be the first person in every single morning. Tracy writes, hi. Deborah writes, morning. Sluggo writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sluggo. X-Squad affiliate salute. I actually saluted my left hand. Rhonda writes, good morning. Charles writes, good morning, all. Hey, good morning to everyone. Good morning to Team and I. Good morning to the Choppers. Good morning to my patrons. Curtis writes, good morning, Chop Shot. Nate, I'm loving hearing Lecrae on the intro. Yeah, that's a super dope track by Lecrae. Kelly writes, good morning, Nathan. V writes, Jamal. Or good morning, all. Rico writes, good morning, Choppers. And the Nubian Godiva Chocolate Queens worldwide. What? The Nubian Godiva Chocolate Queens? Does that work? Jill writes, good morning, all. Casey writes, good morning. Nathan and the Chopper sending powerful, positive vibrations to you all. Kush writes, good morning, Choppers. Deanna writes, good morning, fam. Fame Up writes, famous here to talk some ish and encourage intercourse while your girl is on her menstrual. Well, thank you for that, fam. I appreciate it, man. Just the image I needed in my head this morning. Appreciate that. Maddie writes, happy Monday, Team and I. Yes, it is. Carolyn writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Fame writes, all jokes aside, Nathan, thanks for having news information as a part of your show and not news affirmation. It makes a difference. Pan writes, good morning. Angela writes, LOL, there's going to be a door in the wall? Right. He said, and there's going to be a door. There's going to be a door. I mean, listen, say what you want. You really need to, like if you're running for campaign or you have aspirations, if you're a political scientist, you really need to break down some of the messaging from Donald Trump because it was simple, it was consistent, it was blatant, it was ostentatious. Okay, we're going to make America great again, which implies that America's not great right now, which is so open-ended that people can project whatever the hell they want that to mean. You heard him in the clip. You heard him. Donald says it's going to be a big, beautiful wall. Oh, it's going to be a big, beautiful, tall. He didn't say black, wall. So it's going to be. It's a phallic symbol. It's a phallic symbol. That wall is a phallic symbol for white male Republicans. Carlene writes, good morning, people of the Chop Shop. First full week at work. Oh, the struggles of being a responsible adult. I know, don't you hate it? Don't you just hate being a responsible adult? Oh, my God. Sometimes I just hate it. Responsibility is overrated. It really is. Yeah, it is. It is. Having to do this, having to do that. Tiffany writes, good morning, everyone. Kush writes, speaking with Pam. Carolyn writes, over here cracking up. Angela writes, why are people even listening to this foolishness? Mexicans know what time it is. Dare writes, Trump's presidency is going to be the new Comedy Channel. I can't wait to tune in. He's right about that. What up, KC? Writes, good morning, all. Angela writes, Mexico can hardly rebuild their country and fight the drug cartel. Billy writes, a morning team and I in the choppers. Don't forget the like button. Grapes. You know what? I think the grape god needs to make an introduction, an appearance on the show this morning. A little Monday morning motivation from the grape god. We'll see. Jill writes, Trump is so sickening. If he really wants to secure borders, what about the Canadian border? Just as many people come in from there. Yeah, but it's not as sexy. It doesn't conjure up the same sexiness, right? For some white Americans, and some Americans in general, but primarily white people, because black folks got bigger issues than some damn southern border. But for some white Americans, the idea of keeping out these people is just so attractive, because they've been led to believe that the problem that American workers are dealing with is because of Mexicans. That's not the problem with American workers. See, the Mexicans are nothing more than a red herring for big business interests. The big business has been squeezing American workers, not Mexicans. Okay? It's been big business using politicians to go after worker rights. Well, the rights of workers, as they could be if protected by unions. Matter of fact, Kentucky is set to become a right-to-work state. Now, what does that mean? That means that essentially they're going after the unions. Because what the law says, well, and I read through it, maybe it was yesterday or the day before. But what the bill in Kentucky does essentially is that, let's say you got a union that's starting up at some place. Well, if you're going to have a union, they've got to have some kind of money. So that's why they take in union dues. So every member of a union must pay their union dues. It's part of it. Well, this bill will allow people to become a part of the union, and therefore the union is forced to protect them, but they don't have to pay any dues. So essentially, it's a clever way of going after the unions. That's your real problem. That's your real problem. It's not the damn Mexicans. It's the fact that there's been a long-standing attempt politically to destroy union membership in this country. Right? Who benefits from the destruction of unions? The bosses. The top executives. The people that want to squeeze your insurance policies. The people that, here you are, you work 20, 25, 30 years, you're about to retire. You think you got a nest egg. You think you're about to chill. And guess what? Boo, we're going to renegotiate retirement benefits. See, when you're in a union, that can't happen. And that's the reason why there's such an attempt to destroy unions. And then every example of your union that makes a mistake or a union that's got some bad press, that really gets projected and people get confused. Oh, yeah, unions are bad. Yeah. No, idiot. They're not bad if you're the worker bee who's a part of a union. Think about this. That's in Kentucky. See, what people don't understand, I'll say this again, is that the Republican Party is playing for keeps. They're not playing just to get ahead. They are trying to have supremacy. They want to be the majority party, and the Democrats are the little brother. That's what they want. And they're very close to it. They're very close to it. Maddie writes, the former president of Mexico stated that they will not pay for no wall. Well, no, the American people are going to pay for it now. And all these Republicans who are talking about bloated government, they're going to be happy to do it because they need it. The erection of that wall may be the only erection they've had in the last 10 or 15 years. Don't take that from them. My name is Nathan Ivey, King of Straight Talk. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, and we'll be right back.
Y'all, they're natty. Back up in the motherfucking house. Calling all revolutionaries.
Tired of searching online? 3linkdirectory.com has handpicked tens of thousands of quality links, so you don't have to spend hours searching. Find the best internet links on 3Link Directory. Visit 3linkdirectory.com now. Enjoy quality links sorted in categories like arts, games, health, shopping, sports, travel, and many more on 3linkdirectory.com. That's 3linkdirectory.com.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't even bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time. It's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs. So I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one. Even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking
me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Trust Park, Nathan Ivey, the man, Cincinnati's only voice. And go to NathanIvey.com, man. Check him out.
Good morning. Welcome back. Currently 7:47 a.m. in the Queen City. It's a Monday. Oh, man. Really, Nate? Back to work? Yes, but Listen, I'm inside your phone. I'm inside your iPods. I'm on your PC. Take me with you. Your radio companion, Nathan Ivey, with you. Also, your friendly neighborhood agent provocateur. And how is the mayoral race going to split the local Democrat Party? It'll be interesting to see how allegiances line up. Like, for instance, at the big press conference about John Cranley and his emails, Chris Silbach was there. And on some levels, it seems like an endorsement of Yvette Simpson, because she was there. Oh, it's Minette. Yvette Simpson, right? But we also know that Rob Richardson and Chris Silbach are tight politically. Because remember that bill Rob Richardson had? He was trying to push workers' rights in the city of Cincinnati. Guess what city council member actually, put it on the table? It's Chris Silbach. So there's some great associations there, close associations. So who is Chris Silbach going to endorse? Will it be Yvette? Or will it be Rob Richardson? Be interesting. I want to know. What do you think? So right now we've got 3 candidates. If the election were held today, with what you know right now, and I don't necessarily think that's enough, but hey, it's a radio thing to do it, so I put it out there. Which 2 candidates do you want to see move forward to the November elections? 513-873-7134. Here's my challenge. My challenge again is I don't want to spend the next 3 months talking about Cranley and talking about emails. I just did that with Hillary Clinton. I'm sick of the emails. To me, the emails aren't necessarily a smoking gun. Like, for you, in your opinion, how big of an issue are the John Cranley emails? Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, 5 being, hey, it's important, but 10 being, he got to go. 8, he got to go. If you need scales, you might just want to drop a flow. I mean, what we know is that John Cranley was big boying it with Rahm Emanuel, Chicago, mayor of Chicago. So, yeah, we got it on lockdown here. So I don't want to spend the next 3 months talking about these damn emails. I want to talk about the fact that we got thousands of children who are homeless in the city of Cincinnati. That should be on the topic list. Okay, that's what really matters. I want to hear strategies to further increase investments for enterprising individuals in the city of Cincinnati. Like, every move that's being made by the city is not for everybody who lives in the city. But for the folks that got that drive, that hustle, that have put themselves in that position, they're trying to take it to the next level, what's the city going to do for them? What's the city, going to do for them? I'll say it again. For me, the guide for the mayor and to city council to some degree was given to us 2 years ago by the good folks at the Urban League. That is the guide. Those should be the priorities. Those should be the priorities. But will they be? It could be another 3 months of, people over politics and conversations about emails and Blackwell and what he should have done. And it was so wrong. We got it. Again, there's a lot of people in the room right now having that conversation, but they were in the room when this happened 15, 16 months ago. Again, 513-873-7134. Dale writes, a lot of Trump zombies are saying now that they don't care if their taxes goes to building that wall because they say Obama gave billions of Americans taxpayers to support our enemies. What? I mean, the Republican Party basically is taking the Republican electorate as damn fools. As damn fools. They just say whatever benefits the situation. That's what they say. When Obama was in office, oh my God, he can't just all by himself pass this health care bill. Oh, this is communism. Well, the only reason why it was passed with no Republican support is because the Republicans posseed up and decided that they weren't going to support it no matter what. It didn't matter what was in it. And then Republican media got on board. Oh, it was wrong. Obama, he just unilaterally did this using the power of the presidency. The Democrats passed this all by themselves. So they criticized Obama for not having Republican support and making a major move. But yet they praise the Republicans as they are poised to do the exact same thing, to unilaterally repeal it with no support from any Democrats. But that's heroic. They're saving us. It's ridiculous. T.J.R. Graxton writes, well, Hillary was not an option for voters. She was a very flawed candidate. This election wasn't about throwing Obama out because he got elected twice. Yes, it was. And Hillary was she was no more flawed than Trump was. In fact, I think she was less flawed than Trump. Because while Hillary Clinton had a history of saying things like, well, these are nothing but thugs, right? Donald Trump had a history through companies that he owned of discriminating in housing against people of color. Well documented. So you tell me which is more impactful. Hillary Clinton had a scandal because her husband cheated on her when she was in the White House. Donald Trump was accused of sexual improprieties from several women on some Bill Cosby type stuff. He even got caught on mic claiming, hey, sometimes you can just grab them and just say, I'm Donald Trump. So it kind of tells you his values and the way that he views women. They're objects. Okay, I get it. Come on, TR. You got more than that, bro. Graxton writes, Hillary's emails prove she was untrustworthy, not because of the actual act of using private email, but because she tried to lie about it. It's always about the cover up. Well, tried to lie about what? I mean, that's kind of naive, Graxton. TJR Graxton. That's kind of naive, man. I see you a graduate, huh? Was that high school, college? Congratulations. But that's kind of naive. That's kind of naive to believe that these politicians don't lie. What my challenge to anybody who thinks that the Clinton emails was a big idea, was a big problem, what was the impact? What government secrets were leaked? How was the military compromised by her emails? When you give me that information, then I'll give you a shot. Until then, it's nonsense. Mary writes, the European man that tortured a disabled boy didn't get convicted. You're talking about the football player. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Matter of fact, there's a link on my Facebook page right now from the New York Daily News. Now, to me, this is torture. Former Idaho high school football player avoids jail time for assaulting a mentally disabled teammate with a coat hanger. I spent about an hour or so just learning all about the backstory to this case. John R.K. Howard, he's 19 years old. He pled guilty to a felony count of injury to a child and will be sentenced to 2 to 3 years of probation and up to, 300 hours of community service. A judge is going to decide the final sentence on February 24th, so a little over a month, or a bit over, about a month and a half. Deputy Attorney General Casey Hemmer said that if the case had gone to trial, prosecutors would have been able to prove that Howard kicked a coat hanger into his teammate's rectum during an October 2015 attack. Yeah, I said it. They kicked a coat hanger into his rectum. And apparently the young man who was the victim, young boy of color, and he also had some disabilities. Remember that movie Radio? Remember that movie Radio? Radio! So damn mad at Cuba Gooding Jr. for doing that nonsense. It was ridiculous. Remember that movie Radio? And the boy's name, the young man's name was Radio for whatever reason. And it was one of these like white savior movies. The kind you really like, right? Came out in 2003. and it's somewhat semi biographical. And it was inspired by a Sports Illustrated article titled Someone to Lean On. And it's all about this head football coach who in the movie is played by Ed Harris. Ed Harris, he's a good actor. And a mentally challenged young man, James Robert Radio Kennedy, played by Cuba Gooding Jr. And so if you remember the movie, you know, this dude's like pushing shopping carts along the city streets. And, you know, when he's pushing his shopping cart, he passes the high school football team while they're practicing. And, you know, somehow I think they throw a ball over a fence or something like that, and he retrieves the ball. And they're like, hey, you seem like a good fella. They befriend him, and they all just love him. And he's like their mascot. Yeah, I wasn't too fond of this movie, quite honestly. And I think I pretty much got the basic plot to it, pretty much. Came out in 2003. You might remember this. Radio, right? And the white coach just loves him so much. We love you, Radio. We love you. And that's because Radio didn't have the faculties to really tell him how he really felt. So they just loved him. And he was like the water boy, and he's like the good luck charm and all this kind of stuff. They all rub his head before the game or something like that. Well, see, that's in the movies. In real life, things like this happen. Same deal. This young man, John R.K. Howard, was the star football player. The other two men involved, young men involved, football players. They were in the middle of a crucial season. Apparently, the coaches knew about it. But they're like, you know what? Yeah, you violated this man on a lot of different levels, including his rights, his civil rights, his dignity. But we got a football season to save here, guys. We'll deal with this in the off season. And apparently this young man had been dealing with some racial intimidation at that school. Very, very small town. In fact, the only black people in the town are from this particular family. It's a family of adopted kids, white family that is from that particular area. They just opened their hearts and their houses, their homes and their hearts to these children from across the area, across the nation. They were coming from some very bad situations, and they're coming to live in a small town like this young man, the victim. See, so that's the difference between the movies and real life. And from what I read, this young man had to deal with all kind of racial abuse. It was called the N-word and crispy. I don't know if it was called him crispy, but they would call him things like that. And on this particular day, he became the victim. He became the victim. So if you compare this to what happened in that case in Chicago, for me, this is far worse. They called him Kool-Aid. They call him Chicken Eater. Everybody loves chicken. They call him Watermelon. They didn't call him Radio. And you got the legal system down there that's making excuses for these young men. Like, hey, basically, we don't want to destroy their lives. From what I read about this small town, you got two major employers. One is has something to do with like the agricultural industry, like cattle feed or something like that. I read. The other is the school system, right? Got a brand new school building down there. And the owner of one of the largest employers in that particular town, he was quoted in an article I read. He said, boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. So when I was younger, I had partners I'd hang out with, and I go to their house, we play video games and watch movies and things like that, and we hang out, but never did the idea of basically sodomizing somebody with a coat hanger ever came up. Why do we see these kind of behaviors? Why is it that we see, it's almost like the same kind of behavior that you see in a prison. Like what we know about prisons is that sometimes rape is used as a way of of intimidation. It's sort of a pecking order. It's a way of establishing dominance. And it's funny how even out of prison in this town, anybody can remember Abner Louima? Those are police officers. Why is it that you see men of color who are being dehumanized in this way? Why is it being used in that way? Why? It's like, I'm going to take your manhood. And, you know, believe it or not, it's funny how things get played out. Believe it or not, and I learned this from the Hidden Color series, there's a history of sexual exploitation of rape of black male slaves in this country. But they could have did a lot of things to this dude. They could have roughed him up. They could have put whipped cream in his locker room. Why did they choose to do what they did? And so while everybody's looking at Chicago and it's like, oh, that's brutality, it's the worst thing ever. This case, what about this case over in Idaho? And the four people who were arrested in conjunction with the case in Chicago, the torture case, they went before the judge. I'll tell you what the judge said to them in just a couple of minutes. Like I told you, they are about to be an example. But enough of me, more of you. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning. This is Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda. Good morning. Welcome.
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. How was the weekend?
Oh, that's good. It was great. I'm listening to this case, and I'm thinking about what we were saying on Friday about the Chicago and how we basically were saying the reason why they wanted to make it a hate crime is because the words that those young people use in Chicago about F white people and F Donald Trump. This goes to show what we were saying. Because they was black, we can't look at their background. We can't look at the fact we don't want to destroy their life. But because this is a black victim versus and white people who are abusing this man, now we got to look at their background. We got to see how we can rehabilitate them. We got to see how we can't destroy their life. And that's that double standard that we was talking about on the lines of what they did was wrong, and there's no justification for neither one of these groups or situations on what they did being right. We all know it's wrong, but why are we looking at these two cases differently?
And why is one case getting more attention than the other? I know why, because you got a video. And when you have a video, that's always going to be more compelling than when you don't have a video. So that's one element of it. And I understand the situation on that. But, I mean, they're acting like, to me, the boy was, I don't know if he was necessarily tortured. Because when I think of torture, I think of somebody physically touching you and physically doing something. And they did that. Like I read that they scalped him. But they didn't really scalp him. Like when you scalp someone, that means you're cutting into their scalp and ripping it off. What they did was they cut his hair in patches.
Right.
But the media says he was scalped, which is a whole different thing. That conjures up a whole different image.
Right, but this man was raped. So let's think about that. Not only this child is a foster kid who was snatched out of a bad situation, for him to go to a school to be mentally abused, physically abused, because that's rape. They raped him. And then these kids get no jail time. They get a slap on the wrist. I didn't hear about the little boy in Chicago. Nobody sticking nothing up in him. So here it is now. This little boy, not only he was abused, he was tortured, and then he was raped on top of that. And everybody like, oh, boys will be boys. Then you look at this one, and it's not kids will be kids. It's, oh, these are horrible children. They are committing a hate crime. But because the victim was a black guy, it's not torture. Versus a white boy, they both have mental disabilities, dealing with psychopaths. So what's the difference? If one group should be in jail for life, the other group should be in jail for life. And that's all I was really calling, because on Friday, I don't think everybody got what we were saying. That double standards got to stop, because if we're going to look at one group's background and check on their mental health and all that stuff, a reason they doing what they doing, then we need to look at every group's background and figure out why they doing what they do before we throw them in jail and just leave them there to rot. And that's all I have to say. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too. Take it easy, Rhonda. Mm-hmm. Good to hear from Rhonda, always. Hey, it'd be great to hear from you. Here's my number, 513-873-7134. Let me shift gears here just slightly. Actually, a lot, but whatever we've discussed to this point, you're free to talk about. I also want to tell you that the Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health care system. And there's an event coming up on Friday. I'll tell you more about it. Okay, I'll tell you more about it in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned for that here in the city of Cincinnati. And perhaps you can make plans and actually attend. But last night was the Golden Globes. Did you watch any of it? Conservative media is criticizing as them liberals talking about Trump again. Apparently, there was at least a couple of instances where, people got a little political. But the big story perhaps is that Black Hollywood actually took home some gold. That's right. Tracee Ellis Ross, she won for her performance in Blackish. I know a lot of people watch that show. They swear by it. I get it all the time. Are you watching Blackish? I get it all the time. Donald Glover and others. So the 74th Annual Golden Globe Awards. And it's being called historic. That's Tracee Ellis Ross, her historic win for Best Actress in a TV or comedy or musical. She did that thing. And she was using the hashtag Black Girl Magic. Viola Davis, she got a golden statue for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama, if you care about these kind of things. For her starring role in Fences. Some say this might be a precursor for the Oscars. Doesn't really matter, I guess. When someone says it matters, some does. Donald Glover, his FX original series Atlanta. He walked away with gold for Best Actor in a TV series. Black folks getting their due in Hollywood. Speaking of black folks in Hollywood, have you seen the video or even heard the audio of Lee Daniels? Lee Daniels called some heat recently. He called some heat because he got a brand new television show coming out called, I believe it's called Star. And it stars a white woman, and she's like trying to make it in the music world. And either this was a direct quote or somebody misquoted him and it got on the internet. But he was quoted as saying that with his new project, he wanted to make white people feel good again. Yeah, I paused to let it sink in. He says he wants to make white people feel good again, as if white people haven't been feeling good enough. And so people went on Twitter and went straight for him like, hey, tell us when white people didn't feel good, right? Tell us that. And then the good people over at TMZ, they caught up with him. They do great work. I love TMZ. You can check them out, TMZ.com. They do great work. But they caught up with him. I don't know where he was coming from or where he was going. He was outside. It's nighttime. And the reporter catches up with, or the correspondent for TMZ catches up with him and starts asking him questions. And he goes in. Lee Daniels is mad at somebody. Somebody hurt his feelings or something, because I thought his response was a little bit off the target. Number one, like he starts answering a question, okay, that was never asked. But then he settles in and tries to explain what he meant. What he meant was, I'm trying to make this money. That's how I interpret it.
You've been receiving,
but check this out. This is Lee Daniels.
Twitter and such, because people are taking your "I want white people to feel good about themselves" comment.
Yeah.
Do you want to clarify that real quick?
How do I clarify?
For people that take it the wrong way,
I think that I came to Hollywood with $7 in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked very hard. I've experienced racism on every level.
Right.
I've had studios tell me no, and I made my own way because I come from the streets. So for me, Hollywood don't owe me nothing. I owe me something. And for those that feel that Hollywood owes them something, that's for you. That ain't for me.
Could you answer to people that say, like, what do you mean white people don't feel good about themselves? When have they not been feeling? What would you say to that?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
What I said was that When I did my show Star, it was before Donald Trump was in office. I did everything I could so that man wouldn't be in office. I predicted that we would be in a civil war, and that was the purpose of creating Star. Star is a white girl. She's not the star of the show. Her sister is half white, and we have and they're both poor. And we got her other sister, her other character in the show, who's black and wealthy, and we have a transgender. Okay. The show was put together.
Gotta have a transgender.
Bring all four of these different women together to help heal our nation. Okay. Because right now we're in a very dark time, and I predicted that we were going to be in a dark time. And I think no matter what I do, my words are going to be twisted. Yeah. So I can't. It is what it is. I'm proud of my work. I have from the very beginning been of my career.
Some extreme language is coming your way.
For more.
He ends it with a mic drop.
But going out of my way to look for minorities to work behind the camera and in front of the camera. Right. My body of work speaks for itself. Right. So for those haters that are going to hate, fuck them.
From the man on some. Thank you so much, Lee. I appreciate that.
I ain't mad at him. It's the good folks at TMZ. They do great work. Check them out. So Lee Daniels said it right. He said, listen, I'm trying to make this money, basically. TR writes, calling voters a Trump irredeemable exactly why Trump won. No, it's not. Who told you that? KC writes, anybody else having speaker issues this morning? I hope not. Graxton writes, Yvette Simpson and Rob Richardson will be blown out. I mean, come on, Graxton. Like, I know Smitherly is your man and all, but damn. I mean, what is your opinion? TR, TJR, T Junior Grass. I mean, what is your opinion? You're always welcome, brother. I ain't shouting you down or nothing. I'm just asking you. Fame Up writes, talk that ish, Graxton. Folk who understand the importance of transparency by public officials know what Hillary was doing was foul. So let me get this straight. So Hillary was using a private email to talk about stuff that she should have been using on a more secure channel. There's no evidence that it compromised the nation in any way whatsoever. However, Donald Trump is allowed to use Twitter to state public policy, and that's all good. Angela writes, anything is possible in Cincinnati politics since we just elected a businessman president. Ms. D writes, greetings, love your new pick, Nate. Thank you very much. Rhonda writes, it depends on the situation of the fight. If my child followed all the steps and the other person kept coming at my child, I am going to let my child do what she do. Yeah, that's what most parents are going to do. And if you watching your child fight and nobody else jumps in, they just fight it out till it's over. What's a responsible parent to do? Your child gets into a fight. I bring this up because there's a black woman who's being criticized as being a bad mother because not only did she watch her child fight this other girl, but she participated verbally by telling her to whoop her ass, grab her hair. You'll hear it. But what's a responsible parent to do? Renee writes, good morning, everyone. Ms. D writes, did you hear Meryl Streep's acceptance speech last night? She references the clip you just played of him making fun of the disabled journalist. Yeah, she went in. Without naming his name, she politely let her viewpoint be known. Conservative News referred to her as the most overrated actress in Hollywood ever. That's how they referred to her this morning, to delegitimize her. Mike writes, good morning, Rough Buff, X-Squad affiliate, what up? Salute writes, morning, good people. Cruther writes, good morning, choppers, finally made it. B writes, in school, I learned about European and Eurocentric history. Little to nothing about African and Native American history, which is one of the reasons I'm going to do all I can to homeschool my children. Tanika writes, Ms. D writes, Tanika, I can't with him. And the tweeting among everything else, sigh and deep breaths. Fama writes, Granda, I guess I'm out there. Uh-oh, somebody getting into it inside the chop shop. I'll let it. Listen, I'm like that lady in the video. I'm going to stay out of. Let y'all do what y'all do. Maddie writes, congrats to Donald Glover and the cast of Atlanta on their Golden Globe wins. Someone recently told me that was a really tight show. Is it? Have you seen it? Don't you wish the Bengals were still in the playoffs? I mean, we criticized the Bengals for going to the playoffs 5 straight years and then not winning a game. But now that we're not in the playoffs, isn't that better? Isn't that much better? Them damn Steelers won again. Maddie writes, I live in Kentucky. They are trying to push through right to work in the charter schools. They're anxious to take money from our cash-strapped public schools. They ain't trying to. They're doing it. Bevin, I always thought Bevin was a wild card. I always thought Bevin was the wrong choice for Kentucky. And so now to my Kentucky listeners, Kentucky Republicans passed a right to work bill. And they're basically dropping the hammer on the unions. That's what this all comes down to. They're trying to diminish union membership and to weaken the labor movement. You know, have you noticed how and both parties do this, really? Even the media, it doesn't really spend a lot of time talking about the pros of unions. So not only are they doing that, they're also trying to pass the bill that the governor wouldn't sign in Ohio. And what is that? That's the abortion plan that says that, like, after 6 weeks you can't get an abortion. That may pass in Kentucky. That may pass in Kentucky. Get ready for it. Kentucky workers, your rights are under assault. And without union membership, in many cases, you don't have somebody sitting at the big table bargaining your best interest or lobbying for your best interest. You don't have it. You don't have it. So Donald Trump doesn't like Hollywood and Hollywood doesn't like Donald Trump. Well, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Speaking of boo-hoo, so many things to get to. I will play the audio for you of that fight. I'll get to that in a second. But did you see the audio? And I have not seen all of it. But did you see Michelle Obama's last speech? It's gut-wrenching. Absolutely gut-wrenching. And she even shed a tear. She got weepy and emotional. And she said, listen, basically, I hope to do you proud. And I think she did. I think if people are being fair, Michelle Obama was a great example of a first lady. In fact, she was such a great example as a first lady that the first lady-elect, Melania Trump, she plagiarized from Michelle Obama in an effort to help her husband win, and it was successful. See, that's how much some people, they really revere and respect Michelle Obama. But because of their inability to get over race, it gets processed by hate. Like some of these white women over the last, 2 or 3 years, over the last 8 years, that have openly criticized the looks of the president's first wife, or the first lady. Not his first wife, his only wife. It's the president-elect that has had many wives. Barack Obama's had one wife in his life. Does that make a difference? Does that say different about him, something about him as a man? But I want to play some of Michelle Obama's last speech this morning on the Nathan Ivey Show. But first, more of your phone calls. Good morning, caller. How are you?
What's up, Big Nate?
What up? This is B?
No, this is Akeem, my brother.
Oh, Akeem. I didn't catch the voice, brother. Sorry about that. What's going on, Akeem?
On my downtime. Back to regular schedule, man.
All right, that's good. What else? What else is going on?
Nothing much, man. Last week, now I'm kind of catching up with you, man. I work, I'll be working, so I remember you saying something last week, man, about women of power, man. You said, do men feel, intimidated by messing with women in power or approaching something you said, man.
Yeah, I was talking about Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj. You know, she was the bigger star. A lot of dudes can't handle that. Me, I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Well, excuse my French, man. When you talk about women with power, when you see women with like MD and PhD at the end of their names, man, that represent power, man, that keeps me so aroused, man. That's just so much motivation, and I get that from growing up in a home, you know, presented because my mother just showed so much power, you know, raising 2 kids on her own. So that just looks so powerful to me, and then her profession alone, you know. So I'm like growing up in it, I'm just so accustomed to being around it, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm around women with power, oh man.
Okay. So now I know what you like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's something about that, man. That gives a man a little bit of more energy to his drive, man. You know,
there's
so
something very intoxicating about that, very attractive.
What'd you say, Nate?
I said there's something very attractive about a woman that's got things going for herself, that's got some success, you know, whether it's titles or stature or whatever. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly, man. But we you know what I'm saying? But we too busy, you know, I ain't speaking for everybody, but I see a lot of individuals that I came up with, man, and they still play that bad boy image. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm starting to think like women still into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, those couldn't be women of power. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, Nicki Minaj, like, I mean, what other power does she really have other than, you know, the music she making? You know what I'm saying? The twerking and this and that. And when Meek Mill, you know, come on, man. You know,
give me get back to making hot music again. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, a relationship can take you off your track a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're getting caught up with her. You start to get a little flabby. You start to get a little lazy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes a woman or another person can take you off your track, you know? Maybe that's what happened with Meek. But I would have no problem with a powerful woman. It sounds like you're a man of the same mind. You got no problem with it whatsoever.
Oh, man, you know, you got to be in kingly character, man, to get you the right woman out here. And when you do, you know, you see the power in her, you know, mind, body, and soul. And she got a hustle. She going to build with you. You know what I'm saying? She don't complete you. You know what I'm saying? She don't complete you. She just down for the team, you know? She wants to create something. You know what I'm saying? That presents so much power to me, man. I can, you know, forget all the twerking and this and that. You know,
I love a little twerking.
They don't do nothing for me. So, you know, I just don't get how guys be so intimidated by a woman with power or feel like, oh, they got to be the breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a king regardless. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing, man.
All right,
you know, and I caught the Golden Gloves, man, or the Golden Globes, that is. And I thought I would get a glimpse of my nephew, but he's doing well, man, and it's going down. I'm gonna try to get him to call you in on one of your afternoon shows, man.
Well, let's hook it up,
so
man.
He can probably talk more about Black Hollywood, you know.
Oh, I would love to. I'd love to have that conversation with him. Definitely, man. Hook it up.
Exactly. I'm gonna try to make that happen, man. But you know, peace and love, and you know, everything that they're accustomed to winning, all the choppers, and continue to do your thing, man. I'm going to relax on my downtime, get into this NBA 2K. Come see me, PS4.
So you got to get that Xbox One, man. I serve you on the Xbox One. I'm not a PS guy. I don't play the PlayStation.
Okay. Well,
what team you running with?
Till next time, Nate. I'll see you. Don't break your neck on the black ice, bro. Just say they fit.
I'll try, bro. I'll try. That's a king. We learned so much about a king. We just learned a whole lot. And I appreciate it. Brothers want to call and say, what's up? I'm down with that. I got no problem with it. Beautiful. Here's the number, 513-873-7134. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Picking the locks to your brains and coming through blasting right after this.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget. Get out of debt. Set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
The Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Joan Doniger. This is a big week for big banks. They open their books on the last quarter this week. JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America all due to report quarterly earnings, and considering the run-up in stocks since the election had a lot to do with gains in bank shares, and banks had looked forward to the December increase in interest rates. The reports could be very positive. Today we'll hear from JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon. He'll deliver the keynote address at the bank's annual healthcare conference in San Francisco. The president of the Boston Fed Bank will also speak today at an economic summit in Connecticut. The big speech on tap this week, however, comes tomorrow, President Obama's farewell address. This week's economic reports build as the week goes on. We'll get a look at inflation at the wholesale level, but the question investors really want to see answered is, how did December retail sales look? Economists surveyed by Bloomberg are thinking they rose more than 0.5%. We'll find out at the end of the week.
When you present your business card, what do you want it to say about you? If that card has the letters CMA after your name, it says you know the 11 most crucial areas of management accounting. It says you've mastered an exam that only has a 50% pass rate. It says you've distinguished yourself from your peers, all of which makes your business card a keeper. The CMA certification, you've got to earn it. Visit CMAcertification.org for details.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven. ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
And that's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Joan Doniger.
Good morning. Welcome back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Yeah, I feel it too. Good morning. The future of talk radio to here in Cincinnati will be on the internet, and we're here first. Glad to be with you. The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. And IntelliPitch Group, America's small business builders, helping Americans start a small business at www.intellipitchgroup.com. And they want you to contact them today. That's IntelliPitch, INTELLI pitch group.com. Good morning. Welcome back. Yes, the clients of the Nathan Ivey Show grow every single day. We're doing it. And I would invite you to at least check out my pitch. Go to my website, nathanivey.com. Click on the button that reads Patreon and read about how you can further support the Nathan Ivey Show in these kind of independent mediums. Today is Monday, January 9th, 2017. And let's go back to the choppers. See, Rico writes, Iowa guy rapes 1-year-old black baby girl while videotaping it, laughing. He's set free. No jail time, just promotion. Or just probation, I'm sorry. Clue writes, talk about a double standard. The kids in Chicago should be punished, just like the white men in Iowa should be punished. But his skin allows him to get a slap on the wrist, shaking my head. Cerinthia writes, when it comes to my non-people of color, it's considered hazing. People of color are thugs and criminals. Yeah, there was a young man in Idaho who was mentally disabled. And he had a relationship, well, he was basically taken advantage of by members of the high school football team. Kind of think about that movie Radio, only it's the South, and they're not cool. They're not cool. Angela writes, you touch upon another issue that I'm wary of, Nathan, interracial adoption. The white parents put this black child in one hell of a dangerous situation without proper foresight. It's a good point. That's a fair point. So the backstory about the case from Idaho is that the only black kids in the whole town, it's a small town, about 300 or 400. The only black kids in the whole town live in one house. And they are the adopted children of the residents there, white family, white male, white female. Traditional marriage. And I guess to give these children love in a home, which is invaluable, they brought them to this small little piece of America. And it appears that some of the folks in that town were not that forgiving. And the young man who was later assaulted allegedly, he endured being called watermelon and Kool-Aid. He's mentally disabled. And it culminated with intimidation at the school. The parents say they tried to get with school officials. School officials ignored it, which I can believe. I mean, don't think that the people that work inside these school buildings are any different than anybody else. Some of them are weak. And they'll stand there, and as long as they're not the victim, as long as they're not taking heat, they'll allow these kind of things to happen in some cases. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Let's go to the phones. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Dollars and Cents Reggie. I'm a little under the weather, but I want to call in.
I'm glad you did. Good morning, Reggie. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Just want to make sure I'm coming through loud and clear. I know it seems like every time I call, people are like, hey, we can't hear you. So how are we sounding today?
You sounding real good, brother.
All right, cool. So a couple quick points, and then I will skedaddle and get on the road. The first thing I wanted to say, Nathan, get your opinion, is that, I've done a bunch of different jobs, and what I have noticed, and this is my personal feeling, is that you have Jewish, you have Asian, you have Middle Eastern, and you have white, of course. And what seems to be prominent is that there will be some inner fighting amongst each other. But when it comes to crunch time, they are able to put their differences aside for their own self-preservation. And I can't fault people for doing that. I just wish that we as African Americans could develop that skill. We have it. We have so much untapped potential, untapped power that it's sad at times that it feels like, if we could ever get past that hurdle and be able to put our differences aside with one another, our beef, per se, and then do what's best for the African American culture, we will be in so much more of a higher place or better position. And maybe that's because we've been conditioned But what's your thoughts on that? And I got one other comment I wanted to make to you.
A lot of thoughts on that, Reggie. But I'll say this: the problem you're going to run into, and again, that's a very admirable goal, and I agree with you. The problem is interpretation. Black folks are not a monolith. We don't even to answer your question, we wouldn't all agree on what the black experience is, number one. And then number two, we wouldn't all agree on what the prescription to deal with the black experience is. So from the inception, there would be chaos and infighting and divergent points of view. Now, I would regard that as a part of the process. But, for a lot of folks, that would end the process. That would be so much gridlock. But I'm with you, man. Distrust. There's a lot of distrust among ourselves inside the black community. And the problem is that when you go to start to raise money and you say, well, everybody's going to go here and we're going to put our money in this bank. And then when you need it, you can get it out. A lot of people will not trust that process unless they're dealing with someone who they think is very trustworthy, that I can identify with, that they can really feel comfortable with. But look at the nation. Look at what they're doing all by themselves. They seem to be doing okay.
Great point. And the other thing is, and then I'll let you go. I know one of the choppers that mentioned, about white quarterbacks and this and that. And we wish that we could have, a Tom Brady type or whatever. But what I had shared was that, and I had shared on my show on previous occasions that, people get upset because, white players or whatever, white quarterbacks get premium treatment. But here you have a situation in the New York Jets where you had a black quarterback, Geno Smith, before he got hurt, pretty good player. You had a black head coach, Todd Bowles, and you had a black GM. You had a white quarterback who threw 6 interceptions, okay? They still didn't get Geno Smith in the game. And the reason I bring that up is that, like I said on my talk show, is that when you have an African-American as a head coach, if that brother won't give this black quarterback a chance to get on the field, then all is lost pretty much. Because when you are an African-American person and you have the power and ability to appoint someone else African-American, like put a quarterback in, when your other quarterback's throwing all kinds of interceptions, he doesn't see the field, it's not going to happen. You can't now not expect a white coach to do that when a black coach and a black GM won't even give the brother a shot.
Yeah, but you are making one assumption here, Reggie, that you got to be careful about. Just because that brother, and I forget that head coach's name, I know you're talking about in that situation, Todd Bowles?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because that brother was a head coach doesn't mean that it was just his decision alone to decide who the starter was going to be. You got a general manager, you got an owner. They could have been in his ear. He could have been persuaded. It's kind of like, yeah, well, Todd, it's your decision, but I'm telling you right now, I like this other guy, right? Kind of letting you know that if it goes south, we're going to blame you.
Well, Nate, I agree with you. I agree. But what I'm saying then is if that's the case, then, everyone loves Mike Tomlin. He brought in Michael Vick, so Mike Tomlin does his thing. But and that's one thing we do live by the sword, die by the sword. But at some point in time, we've got to figure that out.
But you know what? I think the Steelers are different, though. See, the Steelers organization, they stick with their quarterbacks, though. I mean, they stick with their head coaches. The Steelers organization supports their head coaches. So a Mike Tomlin he's probably much more empowered than Todd Bowles was.
I'm a huge Steelers fan. The problem is that what people don't realize is that, he took a lot of heat for bringing Michael Vick in, and it's a ton of racist Steelers fans in West Virginia, all throughout the country. But it happened, and he just said, I'm going to take the heat. And that's all I'm saying is I'm not dogging Boyle fools. I'm just letting everybody know that if you do have a GM and a head coach that won't do it, then you can't expect for somebody, white head coach, a white GM, white owner to make that decision if that's not going to happen from a black coach and a black GM. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, Reggie, thank you for the flow, brother. Yeah, most definitely. That's Reggie chiming in. What do you think about his flow? 513-873-7134. Fama writes, Nathan, everybody getting hyped up over Tracy Ellis Ross's, Meryl Streep's, and Donald Glover's speeches at the Golden Globes. But I am disgusted that Courtney B. Vance didn't win one for his portrayal of Johnny Cochran in The People versus O.J. Simpson. I'm with you on that. That's a travesty right there. That is a travesty right there. Who won in that category? I'll be honest with you. I didn't pay close attention enough to figure out who won it. Who could have possibly beat Courtney B. Vance? I mean, his portrayal of O.J. Simpson was epic. Courtney B. Vance is one of the brothers that just cannot get love from Hollywood. And just when everybody thought that he was going to legitimize the fact that he has Angela Bassett, he still hasn't lived up to that, in my opinion. Jelly, did you see Angela Bassett? Damn. Did you see her? Nah, she ain't 50. Nah, I don't believe it. Something's going on. All you got to do is drink water and do squats? Let me see if I can get some shots of her. Bassett, Golden. She's going to play the mother of T'Challa in Black Panther. Golden Globes. In the Black Panther movie. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Look at that. I'm looking at a photograph of Courtney B. Vance and this beautiful woman, Angela Bassett, on the red carpet at the Golden Globes. What color is that? Is that coral? Is that coral? Damn, homie. Damn. Ladies, let me have a minute here. Need a minute. Fellas, you know what you do. Do what you do. Damn. How old is she now? That's right. Someone writes Angela Bassett, and they write her fine hubby, but it should be is fine. F-O-I-I-N-E. Damn. Angela Bassett. So, damn, that's wrong right there. I can't imagine anybody outshining Courtney B. Vance. And again, I don't know who the other nominees in that category were, so damn. Clue Magic writes, well, the parents who adopted that child should have moved away. I'm sure he expressed his concerns to his adopted family, his adopted parents. Could be. Let's go back to the phones. Caller, good morning. How are you? Yo, caller.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, yes.
Okay. How you doing today, Nate?
I'm doing great. Who is this?
Kevin on sale. My bad.
What up, Kevin?
Trying to make it, man. So I got a couple things I saw. Hold on a second. Let me get you off speaker.
Oh yeah, most deaf. No speaker.
No speaker.
No speaker.
How about that?
No speaker. No speaker. Yeah, that sounds cool. I guess let's do it. What's going on, man?
So over the weekend, called on PBS the Black Panther story. Have you seen that?
I believe so. Yes. Yep. It's epic.
That was powerful.
Yeah, I watched it with my daughter for about an hour or so. She had no idea what she was watching.
Man, Kwame Ture is amazing. I gotta say, I was more with Martin Luther King in his methodology. Sophie Carmichael discussed it well. It's amazing experience. So I watched that, and then I was watching this thing. I think it was either Matter of Fact or one of those shows, man. And it was talking about the election. I know you say not politics all the time, and I don't know if they were taking a break from it or not. So I was, got the college today, but I know. I know this, but everybody doesn't want to hear it all the time. But they were talking about the media and how the Western media, I guess it's the RT. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Are you familiar with that?
Say again, brother.
The RT. Are you familiar with it? They're talking about the RT now. It's like a Russian-sponsored internet show or something like that. And basically, they were talking about it's literally Russian-sponsored. So this lady was on there saying. Vladimir Putin, he can make president, and that kind of it's super yellow. Wow, he said, he can make president. He has the power to change who's going to be president in the United States.
Is that right?
Man, so in 12 days is Armageddon, right? What happens in 12 days, Nate?
In 12 days, he becomes the president officially, constitutionally.
I'm so afraid, bro.
Are you?
You know what I'm afraid of, though? Seriously. So, all jokes aside, the only thing I'm afraid of is that, the moniker is, these are the last days of common sense. And I'm wondering, have we really reached the point where the last days where common sense has actually expired? Because the president of the country is going to also be a reality TV star with a horrible comb-over and a wife that steals lines, really good lines, from the former president's wife.
Well, two things is happening, man. One, your phone is very hard to pick up on. So let me cut the call, but let me answer your question, though, Kevin. I appreciate the flow. Yeah, that's very hard to hear. And I made out most of what he had to say, and he was talking about the last days, if you missed it. And I was hearing some clicks in there as well. Very unpleasant. I'm not sure. It may have been your location. Not all cell phones are made the same. But just to give you a heads up, it's always best that if you got me on speaker and you're kind of listening to the show while you're on the phone, because if you don't know, when you call into the show, you can still hear the show through your phone. Okay, when your app stops, like if you're listening to the Spreaker app, your app is going to stop. Okay, and then you can listen to the show, any clips. If I've got a guest on another line, you can hear all of that straight through your receiver. And I know the tendency is like while you're waiting to put it on speaker. But what I would ask you to do is very quickly take me off speaker. And that's standard, not just per the internet. And if you call into any talk station in the world, they're going to tell you the same thing because speakers they just dull the quality of the audio. And speaking of phones, I talked to John from Princeton, New Jersey. He called me over the weekend. I think it was Saturday. We might have talked for about 30 minutes. He just wanted to chop it up. I'm very accessible. And I'm trying to convince him to get a new phone. And he was kind of walking me through it. But John from Princeton promised us all. I said, I'm going to run back and tell the choppers, John, that he was going to get a new phone. But back to that flow from Kevin. Yes, I predicted many years ago that we are living in the last days of common sense. And the election of Donald Trump is yet another example of that. And we're already seeing a dumbing down of the discourse. Like, for instance, Donald Trump had a high-profile meeting with the leaders of the intelligence community on Friday. And this meeting information was asked to be put together by the current president, Barack Obama. And Barack Obama was briefed, certain members of Congress were briefed, and then the president-elect and his team was briefed. Himself, Mike Pence, perhaps others. And what they concluded is that the Russians were actually happy. They were celebrating when it looked as if Donald Trump was going to win. And again, the cover story it could be the real story or just a cover story, is that Putin was so upset because of a remark that Hillary Clinton made and that Barack Obama had insinuated that he wasn't a legitimate president, that he wasn't democratically elected by his people, much like Barack Obama was. And so this was sort of like get back. I suspect that major players that make major moves, they do it for multiple reasons. That may have been one reason, but there's more reasons as to why they favored Donald Trump in office rather than Hillary Clinton. Now, for Republicans, they understood that Hillary Clinton in office will be a continuation of Barack Obama's policies. That is such a powerful narrative that you had the president himself, now president-elect, but when he was candidate Trump, he even said it and said it over and over again to the audience. So many people voted not just for Donald Trump, but against Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Okay, get that straight. Angela writes, white people who are naive to the brutality that black children can encounter are ill-informed and ill-equipped. Ain't enough love in the world to overlook. Dale writes, that's why I say I can care less about that disabled man being tortured. I gives no F's about him. I say set them free. See, I can understand that. See, that's where we are now. See, that's where we are as black people. We got to break down that cynicism. Okay, we have to build some bridges. I'm not telling you to change your flow, Daryl. I'm just saying it in general. If Black America is going to survive and thrive, we're going to have to learn how to adapt in the new landscape. Okay? We have to figure out how to maneuver when Trump is in the White House. If we just take a purely oppositional stance, then in 4 years, Black America's interests would not have been progressed whatsoever. So I'm calling out Black Republicans, and I know they have no power whatsoever, but I'm calling out Black Republicans like Blackwell. Ohio's own Ken Blackwell was a part of Trump's transition team. So does that mean that Blackwell is going to be that black face, that voice in the room? I'm calling on Black Republicans that have connects with Trump to use their connects to make sure that the Black community's interests are at least in the room. We'll see. We'll see. Omarosa's there. We'll see. Angela writes, as I understood it, the adopted white father teaches in the school system and intends to retire from there, so moving isn't on his radar. Well, as I understand it, the family is suing for, I believe, $20 million now. That's what I believe. Kelly writes, good morning. Angela writes, the difference is that the white defendants had a white judicial system to navigate. Dollars and Cents writes, hey, everyone. What's up, Dollar? Just talk to you, brother. Don't be shy, man. It could have been a one-time thing with that connection. I appreciate the calls. Slogan writes, we're dealing with an immoral media that highlights anything associated with people of color while downplaying their own repulsive acts. It's truly remarkable. It's truly remarkable, he writes. But Michelle Obama's, her speech. Ooh, we got to get to this. We must get to this. Michelle Obama is leaving. Oh, man, no more of those beautiful dresses. And it was just such a, as a black man, as a man, it was just so refreshing, quite honestly.
I want to recognize who are here.
We had our first lady with hips and poise and
educators, our leaders, our young people who have been with us since we launched Reach Higher back in 2014. Now, when we first came up with this idea, we had one clear goal in mind. We wanted to make higher education cool. We wanted to change the conversation around what it means and what it takes to be a success in this country. Because let's be honest, if we're always shining the spotlight on professional athletes or recording artists or Hollywood celebrities, if those are the only achievements we celebrate, then why would we ever think kids would see college as a priority?
Good point.
So we decided to flip the script and shine a big, bright spotlight on all things educational. For example, we made College Signing Day a national event. We wanted to mimic all that drama and excitement traditionally reserved for Together, we made in this administration the largest investment in higher education since the GI Bill. Can you realistically
see Michelle Obama running for office, maybe senator of Illinois? Can you see that realistically? I'd have to know more about what her platform is, but if it's anything similar to her husband's domestic platform, I'm saying nothing about this protracted war on terror or the war on the war on speech in this country, because there is a war on speech. Just look, you live in the city of Cincinnati, there's a war on speech. Not everybody values platforms where people can have conversations. That isn't valued by everyone. Some people see that as less important than other people do. I think it's very important. Because I think that when you have more than one cable network, then it drives the price down. That it forces the cable networks to always be innovating, to always be thinking about their customers, because if not, they'll lose their customers. Just like I think there should be a competition of places where, that sell pizza. I don't want one kind of pizza. Sometimes I'm in the mood for some, and I'll just throw some names out here, even though they're not sponsors. But sometimes I'm in the mood for, La Rosa's. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Domino's. Sometimes I hear about another pizza spot I want to try out. They got a great gourmet pizza, or maybe they've got a coupon or something like that. But the point I'm trying to say is that as consumers, we want to have as many options as possible. I'm the same way with my entertainment. Like, I remember before there was cable television when you only had like 5 or 6 options, period. So now with cable television, the fact that I have so many options, I love it. Even though I don't always use them, when I get ready for it, boom, I can watch it. So when I want to watch some BET, I watch BET. When I want to watch VH1, I watch VH1. When I want to watch Fox News, I watch Fox News. When I want to watch MSNBC, I watch MSNBC. If I want to watch HBO, I watch HBO. If I want to purchase Showtime, I purchase Showtime. If I want to watch Stars so I can watch Power, then I purchase Stars and I watch Power. It's the same thing with your radio. It's just no difference with a talk show. You know, sometimes they move for a little of this, sometimes they move for a little of that. So when you have that, I think that there's a natural sort of competition that leads to innovation, that leads to interesting moments, that leads to more engaging moments for listeners and things like that. And I think we need that here in the city of Cincinnati desperately. We desperately need it here in the city of Cincinnati. And so that's why I've launched a Patreon campaign. And I want to make sure the Nathan Ivey Show remains independent. I only want to be beholden. I don't want to be beholden to any one particular sponsor or advertiser. I don't want to be beholden to any one particular political party. I don't want to be beholden to any one particular issue. You know, as a creative person, as someone who's creating media, the best relationship would be a relationship directly with your audience. So check me out on Facebook. You can check me out on Twitter. You can check me out directly at my website, nathanivey.com. And just read my pitch. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and or check it out. More Michelle Obama.
Throughout their life path. Terry told us, as you heard, she told us, these men and women show them that those kids matter. That they have something to offer, that no matter where they're from or how much money their parents have, no matter what they look like or who they love or how they worship or what language they speak at home, they have a place in this country. And as I end my time in the White House, I can think of no better message to send to our young people in my last official remarks as First Lady. So for all the young people in this room and those who are watching, know that this country belongs to you, to all of you, from every background and walk of life. If you or your parents are immigrants, know that you are part of a proud American tradition, the infusion of new cultures, talents and ideas, generation after generation, that has made us the greatest country on earth.
Aren't you going to miss the First Lady? I certainly am. I want to make sure that you are aware that UC Health and the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine, they are cordially inviting you to the 44th annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration ceremony. It's January 13th, which is this Friday. And your keynote speaker is going to be the Honorable Fanon Rucker. And Dr. King once said, quote, "Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane." It'll be from 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. at the Kresge Auditorium at the UC College of Medicine, and they will have some parking. Pastor Ennis Tate will be there. Kyla Woods. She's no longer on local television. University of Cincinnati African American Cultural and Youth Resource Center Choir and the Rockdale Academy Choir. Again, that's January 13th. And make your plans now. Check them out.
Faiths and colors.
More for the First Lady.
That is not a threat to who we are.
I mean, just think, in a little while, we're not going to be able to chance to hear a voice like this anymore. So to the young people here,
And the young people out there, do not ever let anyone make you feel like you don't matter or like you don't have a place in our American story, because you do. And you have a right to be exactly who you are. But I also want to be very clear. This right isn't just handed to you. No, this right has to be earned every single day. You cannot take your freedoms for granted. Now, just like generations who've come before you, you have to do your part to preserve and protect those freedoms. And that starts right now, when you're young. Right now, you need to be prepared.
That's the First Lady, part of her last speech, and she got a little teared up. She teared up just a little bit during the speech, it was reported. And I can imagine that being very emotional. You know, it's very customary for when the first family leaves that, like, the first, the president and the First Lady will write their memoirs. As long, you know, I don't think that I can't wait to read the memoirs, especially if they get really candid. To be the first African-American first family, right, ever in the history. I mean, we saw history in our lifetime. Now, things didn't go all the way that people might have planned it. But that was only because the Republicans, they did their best to spoil it, and they were very successful in doing so. Give them their props. They were very successful in spoiling the Obama administration. I mean, for 8 years, though, we had a moment there. We had a chance. And did we take full advantage of it? I don't know. I would say no, we did not. Yeah, the Republicans will claim, well, Obama had his chance. But they know, Mitch McConnell knows, they did everything they could to make the last 8 years as ineffectual as possible. And they were quite successful. They were quite successful in a lot of different ways. Here's my number, 513-873-7134. And you can use that number to call me right here, right now on the Nathan Ivey Show. I want to hear your thoughts. There's a clear double standard in the media as it relates to the torture cases. But I think one clear difference, to be fair, as to why the Chicago case is getting so much media play is because you have a video. And Americans love videos. We love it. You've actually got something to show people. You can see him looking terrorized. It's like a movie almost. Nathan Ivey, this is the Nathan Ivey Show.
About the stock market. Always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Poorly educated. We're the smartest people. We're the most
Meera
loyal
Batra.
people.
I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Ready, go! This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Now back to the show.
Good morning, all. Back to Rock. Nathan Ivey with you. As I've said, picking the locks to your brains and coming through blasting weekdays at 7 a.m. Tell a friend, Cincinnati already has an alternative in the morning, and we're growing every single day. And
when you were a little kid,
the so-called thugs up in Chicago went before the judge. And I'll tell you what that judge told those 4 teens. Well, 3 teens and then a young adult at 24 years old. 2 females, 2 males were arrested in that case. And I'll tell you what the judge said in just a minute. But first, I need to tell you that the Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. And UC Health and the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine, they cordially invite you to the 44th annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration ceremony. That's January 13th. That's this Friday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. They are asking you to RSVP. You can RSVP to linda.conn, C-O-N-N, at uchealth.com. Okay? If you can't RSVP and you forget, I don't think they'll be too upset if you show up. But they will prefer for you to RSVP. So perhaps they've got some refreshments. Perhaps they want to get a feel for how many chairs they want to have out. It'll be at the Kresge Auditorium, UC College of Medicine. And you can park in the Eden Garage. That's January 13th, this Friday. Brought to you by the good folks at UC Health. Also, IntelliPitch Group, America's small business builders, helping Americans start a small business at www.intellipitchgroup.com. And they say contact us today. Contact them today. Good morning. What's up, choppers? I played for you about 2 hours ago a montage of Donald Trump.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
For those who missed it, check this out.
I will build the wall. We're going to build a wall. We will build a great wall. We're going to build a great wall. And we're going to have a door in the wall. We're going to build a wall. I would build a great wall. We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice. We're going to build that wall. Nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. We're going to build the wall. We are going to build the wall. We're going to build a wall. I will build a great, great wall. The wall just got 10 feet taller, believe me. The wall just got 10 feet higher. Got 10 feet taller. How How easy is that? It's going to happen, okay? That wall will go up. It's going to happen. It's going to go up. Impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border
masculine
wall.
southern border
wall. Come up
wall.
to me, they say, Donald, you don't really think we're going to build a wall, do you?
Big and beautiful. See, here's my thing.
I say, absolutely we're going to build a wall, 100%. It's going to be a real wall. There's going to be a real wall.
Oh, not a fake wall?
It's going to be a real wall. It will be a real wall.
Oh, I thought it was going to be an imaginary wall.
A real wall. And Mexico will pay for the wall. Mexico is going to pay for it, and they'll be happy to pay for it. The wall
Who's going to pay for it?
Paid for by Mexico. They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for the wall.
They're not going to ever know it.
Make them pay for that wall. But they're going to pay for the wall. Trust me, Mexico will pay for it. And I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words. Mexico's going to pay for the wall 100%. 100%. 100%. Who is...
Well, not really 100%, because now Donald Trump admits that the U.S. taxpayers are going to pay for the border wall. But now they're claiming that Mexico is going to repay the costs. That's not the same thing.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Come on, everybody. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Ronald Reagan got props because he tore down a wall.
Build that wall.
Donald Trump is getting props and getting lauded and revered because he's going to build a wall. So which is it? President-elect will reportedly seek funding as soon as April for the estimated $14 billion project, while claiming that Mexico will reimburse the U.S. taxpayer for any money spent on building a border wall between the two countries. That is Donald Trump. And the Republicans in Congress are going to run around and try to give him his goofy wall because they want to destroy Social Security. They want to repeal Obamacare. Am I the only one who thinks it's a bad idea to repeal Obamacare before you actually have an idea, a plan in place? Why aren't the Republicans and the people that support the Republican politics and Republican Party, why aren't they not calling this out? Why aren't they calling this out? Nathan Ivey, it's the Nathan Ivey Show.
I know what y'all asking yourself. Is he gonna ever fall off? No.
That's for the haters.
No.
That's for the haters. I'm never falling off. Nathan Ivey with you. I'm never falling off. Wait a minute. You hear that? I hear something. Do you hear that? I hear it.
I hear the chopper's coming. I hear the chopper's coming. What we do here is go back.
The choppers are coming. Let me back up here. I want to read your chat before I roll this morning. Good morning to you, choppers. Craig Rice, choppers. Monday sucks. Gotta keep the lights on, baby. Don't we all? Angela Rice, do we have some black lawyers ready to defend pro bono, ? Do we black people want to set up GoFundMe for these 4 defendants' legal defense? Because clearly they are not going to get similar treatment. To just point out what should happen is basically lip service. Greg Rice, really? Lee Daniels, when did white folks ever not feel good? Damn. Keisha Rice, I think Lee Daniels constantly straddles the fence. He never commits to one side or the other, because he's just only concerned about making money. Oh, yeah, we talk about it all. We've covered a lot of ground. You heard from Trump. We've talked about the latest in the local elections here in city council. I have talked to all of the people involved, face to face. And they have all agreed to come on the show. Current mayor and now his 2 Democrat challengers, Rob Richardson Jr. and Yvette Simpson. I will be following this closer than anyone else in the city. I guarantee that you will get exclusive interviews here on the Nathan Ivey Show. You'll get exclusive insight to the upcoming election. And I'm not just talking about the mayoral election, but I'm also talking about city council elections, because I want to make sure that at least on some media platform in this damn city of Cincinnati, and I love the city of my birth, don't ever get that twisted, I love where I'm from, that on some levels we are having a conversation, and I'm not going to tell you that we're going to always have these kind of conversations, that'd be a damn lie, but I want to have a conversation about the issues with the upcoming election that I think really matter, or that I'm afraid may get overshadowed. They may get overshadowed. Like, for instance, you know what we should be doing right now locally? We should be having a conversation on the impact of the redlining of neighborhoods in the city of Cincinnati. What is that impact? I want a number. I mean, how much money in terms of potential wealth does the redlining of black neighborhoods really cost us? You got to think of it like that. See, the media never connects these dots. Most cats behind the MIC, they're ill-equipped to deliver flows like that and those kind of insights. I got no disrespect for any of my colleagues. I'm sure they all do great work individually or whatever. But I'm focused on me. And right here, right now, I'm here to tell you that we should be having a local conversation about the impact, the financial impact. What is that number? How much money is lost? How much wealth building is lost in terms of the black community because of the practice of redlining and of banks in this city? We're not talking about something that happened in 1984. We're not talking about something that happened in 1994. We're not talking about something that happened in 1884. We're talking about what happened right here, right now. 2014 is what the Justice Department said. So I'm trying to connect the dots here. How is it in the city of Cincinnati we can have some of the biggest companies in the country, and yet we have these pockets of just poverty? And what's the impact of it? KR Mitchell writes, speaker is tripping going in and out. Damn Spreaker. Let's see if that works. Jerica writes, a responsible parent wouldn't engage. They would intervene and stop the altercation. Just Jerica's opinion. Jerica, listen, now you didn't call us once now. You didn't call me once. You shared your beautiful voice with us, your beautiful opinions, and please keep sharing. Okay? I want to hear from the ladies in the chop shop. I know it may not be on every topic. It may not be every day or even once a week. I understand. But you are always welcome, Jerica. Dudes will hit me up like, damn, Nate. The ladies in the chop shop was sounding good. The King writes, morning choppers. That would be 3 women and a tranny. Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels sold his soul for the money. Remember Public Enemies, Burn, Hollywood Burn? Real black television matters without the trannies. I think that there's a tranny or a transsexual character on Lee Daniels' new show called Star. Has it started yet? I haven't watched it. I may check it out. I don't know. I may break down and check it out. Clue Magic writes, boys will be boys when they are white and do some messed up stuff, but they are immediately men and super predators when they are black. Clue Magic's a very smart individual. He can see the game. He's right about that. And if you doubt it, well, I mean, Avery set the record straight last week. You still in here, Mr. Avery? You still in here, brother? Yeah, Avery said it straight. He said, listen, going back to the situation here in Cincinnati with the North College Hill kids, those were kids. One of them were 11. But you wouldn't know it in terms of the rhetoric and the cries for blood from the villagers. I mean, people want those kids to be tried as adults. And I think there are even black folks. Oh, they should be tried as adults. How you do it? And they fall right in line with that game. No, not necessarily. Okay. I do believe that you can be 11 years old, do something stupid, and you can still redeem yourself, transform your life, and make something of yourself and be a productive member of our society. I believe in that. I believe there's a lot of brothers right now locked down, and the last thing they want to do is go back to them streets. And when they get released, if we don't have something set up so that those who are serious about it can make that transition, because you know the recidivism rate is what it is. A lot of cats are going to fall back into the game of the whoever. You know, it is what it is. But for those brothers that's really brothers and sisters trying to climb out and create a different way, we should have something in place for those individuals. Just makes sense. Dollars and Cents writes, Nathan, we as black people have so much power that we underutilize. He's very right about that. Why are we as black people upset when white, Asian, Jewish people will stick together, even put their personal beefs aside to keep their own people in power? ? Meanwhile, black folks, not all can stick together, help each other, but personal beefs aside to stand together. Till we can really help each other and respect each other's opinion without labeling said person a coon, Uncle Tom, etc. We are set to repeat our issues. Definition of insanity, doing same thing over and over, expecting different results. He's right. You know, for whatever reason, I thought about Tariq Nasheed. And I've now caught up. I'm hip to the whole Crispy thing, the website. I've seen the videos. Not all of them, but I've seen them. This brother, Tariq Nasheed, is a damn fool. At some point, Tariq Nasheed, I think, if he's willing to, will come on the airways. And when he does, I think we'll have a great conversation. Because I want to talk about Crispy. How is what Tariq Nasheed doing with Crispy, right? Tony Sotomayor. How is that not the same playbook that what he calls white supremacists have done to black folks? I don't know how it isn't. Rico writes, Atlanta's a great show. Check it out. Also, Issa Rae looked great last night. She does. Issa Rae is an attractive sister. Now, I don't know, something around her teeth or something. You know, she got big teeth. They're white and everything is straight, but I don't know. Something stuck out to my brain. I don't know. It's just me. But she's very attractive. You're right. Talented, too. Brian writes, wouldn't it be great to have a QB like a Rodgers or at least close to his talent? Yes, it would be, Brian. Be great. Sorrenthy writes, my mama did the same thing. If I told her I had to fight, when I got home, she escorted me to the girl's house and said, do it again. Ended with you better whoop her ass or I'm going to beat yours. That's how I came up in the 80s. Uh-oh. Damn, really? I mean, I've seen it. I remember two boys was going to jump me once. And I ran home like, Mom, they going to jump me. And she walked to the window. And when she looked outside, it was just one boy. The other boy, matter of fact, it was a bunch of boys that was trying to jump me. It was only one boy outside. But I know because I just ran home. I'm like, dang, 1-on-1, that's one thing. 2-on-1, maybe I can just drop kick somebody and run. But it's like 3 or 4 of y'all, man. That ain't fair. And this is a true story. So my mother looks outside. She only sees one boy. She looks back at me like, you better get your ass outside and deal with that youngster. I'm like, but Mom, the rest of them are hiding. And she made me go back outside. She did. And so I went back outside. Everything was cool for a while till I turned a corner. And guess what? I got jumped. Thanks, Mom. But here's a video.
Don't let her pull your hair. China, don't let her pull your hair. Don't let her pull your hair. Get off. China, whip China, whip that China, whip China. Get up, China. Get on top of China.
Get up. Canadian, get up.
Beat her head in. You should have put that first round. Beat her ass, China.
You can't lose a fight in front of your mama.
Beat her. Don't get up. Don't let her get up. Stop her face.
Ronda Rousey's down. It's over.
Ain't no hold on.
She said ain't no hold on.
Go ahead, man. China, beat her. China, what I tell you to do, China?
You hear the mom in the background?
China, what I get her? All right, China, what I tell you?
So there it is. I'll post a link if you haven't already seen the video for yourself. And in the video, you see the mother. Looks like she's a nurse. So at least she can apply some bandages to the wounds afterward. But the mother is clearly sort of like, the two girls are just fighting. And it's a whole bunch of hair pulling. You know how that goes. I told my daughter already. I said, "Oh, you got them braids? Oh, that's nice." I said, "You know, you get into a fight, you know what's gonna happen, right?" And I showed her one of these World Star videos where girls was pulling hair. You should have seen her face. It was hilarious. And I had to tell her, like, listen, this is what's going to happen. They're going to grab your hair. You better get what you going to do. She already know. And I've seen fights where mama jumped in. That's wrong. But damn, you can't get your ass beat in front of your mama. I don't know. You ever had to fight somebody in front of your parents and your parents are just sitting there watching? That's a lot of pressure. And I'll be honest with you. If that's my son, he got to fight it out. You got to fight it out. I'm not coming to your handle your business. You know, if it's a fair fight with him and another little boy, that's my first reaction as a father. I'm gonna be honest with you. My first reaction is go ahead and do your thing. Now, let's say the other boy's father's there. Okay. As long as he ain't jumping in, I ain't jumping in. You know, if we both jibber-jabbing and, hey, do this and, hey, do that. Hey, grab him, son, do this. It's the natural order of things. And since I'm saying it about my son, I'd have to say the same thing about my daughter. Because, listen, at some point, she's going to get into a fight. It's going to happen. It better happen. Because at some point, somebody's going to push her to the edge, and it happens. I can't imagine anybody coming from high school or elementary school, you didn't get into at least one fight. I find that hard to believe. So eventually it's going to happen. And so as a parent, you want to prepare your child for these kind of situations. Or is this brutality? Not police. Is this brutality? Is this another example of how black folks is wild and they don't know how to control their kids? Because you know that's how some people are going to spin it. See, look at the mama. Look at the mama instigating. Some people violent. Them people violent. They be wilding out. But again, I've seen videos where the mama jumped in. At least she didn't jump in. Cynthia says her mama did the same thing. My mother made me run outside and get jumped. I'm like, Mom, it's more than his friends are around the corner, Mom. She wouldn't listen. Chairman Mom. Why? She was teaching me a lesson. You ain't gonna be running the house here. Fame-Up writes, Nathan, I have to disagree about Bevin. That's the governor of Kentucky. The other choice, Jack Conway, was sued federally for retaliation on the First Amendment of a black man from his area. I still say Bevin is bad for Kentucky. Maddie writes, both the RTW and the abortion pill passed in Kentucky. Waiting on Bevin's signature. Hard times coming for Kentuckians. Maddie's right. But this is what they voted for. Anybody but Hillary. Anybody who was associated with Barack Obama, they weren't going to vote for him. So now they got Donald Trump and you got Bevin. Good morning, caller. How are you?
What's going on, Mr. Abby?
What's up, Miss Cynthia?
And you know it's
Damn, so your mama sent you back. Your mother will take you. No, take me to the story. So you get into it with a girl, you go home. Your mama walk you back down there and make you whoop them?
Yeah. Like I'll leave out the house a certain way and I come back and my ponytail's messed up. She's like, you been in a fight. I'm like, yes, ma'am. She's like, where she live at? I'm like, up the street. She said she'll put on her T-shirt, her jogging pants, her gym shoes, and she said, come on. I'm like, where are we going? She was like, you beat her up, right? I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, well, you're going to have to show me. And she'll walk me to her house. I got to knock on her door. And she'll come outside. And I'm like, my mama said, I got to fight you again. And the girl she'll throw her fist up and we'll get to going. And what I would hear is, if you don't whoop her ass, I'm going to whoop your ass when we get in the house.
Now, how did that, what impact did that have on you? Did it make you tougher?
It made me get to the point to where I'm not going to back down from nobody trying to challenge me. Because, you know, we were shy kids. We were shelter kids. So It was a thing of if somebody is willing to try to stand up against you, you have to try to stand up for yourself. And what it showed me was my mama is going to be there to have my back no matter what. She's not going to let anything interfere and let nobody try to put harm my way. And it pushed me to, fight to the best of my ability and not go home and get a whooping. I'm trying to get some ice cream. I ain't trying to play with y'all folks. I mean,
did you ever think, was there ever a time you was like, man, I don't really want to fight this girl, but my mama going to make me?
Yeah, I mean, all kids go through the jitters. All kids get nervous. And I remember a couple of times I pleaded like, Mama, I don't want to go and fight. And she was like, well, did the girl give you the chance to not fight when you got off that bus? No, ma'am. So what do you mean you don't want to go fight? And, it just made me realize, okay, at a certain point, you really have to stand your own ground. So I don't run from nobody for anything. May it be male, female. If I got a ground to stand, I'm going to stand it. Now, do I condone just straight out foolishness? No. But, that's when bullying was real heavy. You'll get girls picking on you in cliques because you got long hair or because you fox match or, just dumb reasons. And so, I taught my daughter the same thing. No, you don't go out there and just start a fight, but when something approaches you, you stand your ground. Now you go through the checks and balances, you try to de-escalate the situation. If it doesn't work, you go tell the adult and authority. If they don't step in, you at least tell the adult and authority twice. That third time, you handle your business. And, at that point in time, my stepfather, he was a maintenance man for CMHA. And he was like, if you feel that you cannot fight, this is what you do. You take her hair, you wrap it around her hand, your hand, and you make your fist meet her face until your fist get tired. Now, this is coming from a grown Southern man. And I'm like, is that what we supposed to do? He said, if you take out that bully, I bet you will not near one of them mess with you ever again. And guess what? He was telling the truth.
It certainly was. That's how it works.
So, I don't condone adults jumping into kids' fights, but I do, even with my own daughter, when she had issues, I'm not going to sit out here and watch you fight in the middle of the street, but what y'all can do is bring it to my living room. Y'all can fight in the safety of my living room, and it's just you and her. What happens is...
So if this girl whooped your daughter, you didn't let her just walk out the room?
I mean, you shouldn't have all that mouth. That's what you shouldn't do. If you go sit there and have all that mouth, and if you get your butt whooped, that's on you. You will learn when to shut up and when to speak up. But what I find is that when you give people options, that 9 times out of 10, they're going to take the lesser of the two evils. And most times the girls will be like, no, it was just, she made me mad. And, now y'all can sit and dialogue about it and quit trying to act like savages. Because if you just fighting just for the sake of trying to have a crowd, then I'm going to give you a place to have your arena. And 9 times out of 10, you ain't doing nothing but talking mad. So, what it just taught me was just really to stand your ground. I'm a de-escalator. I believe in conflict resolution. I believe that fighting is a very, very, very last resort. And that's only if you feel that you are in imminent danger. I just don't believe that you should go around just beating up people because you feel you have hands. That's pointless. But, that's what my mama taught me, not to run from nothing, and you face your challenges head on, no matter what it looked like.
Well, Cerinthia, I appreciate the call. Have a great Monday.
You too, babe.
Yep, most def. A great flow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that a black thing? I don't know, but I had a very similar upbringing. Very similar. Wanda writes, Obama should get back at all his haters by giving O.J. Simpson a pardon from jail. That would be a nice take that, drop the mic and walk off moment. I'm just saying. That's hilarious, Rhonda. I like the way your mind thinks. That would be hilarious. Really give him reason to hate you. Brian writes, when it comes to women of power, I'm like the role player in the cast with LB, LeBron James. As long as we getting a win or a ring, it's all good. I know that's right. Who are these weak-ass men that can't be with a woman that's clocking dollars or she's got some authority on a job? Who are these dudes? Who are these men? Sorrento writes, anyone else hear about how FM radio is on its way out? Woke up to the news story about, but missed what was said. FM radio ain't going nowhere. Ms. D writes, Nate, did you see that Aftab Pourval is cleaning house and Triantafulu is being critical? That's right. Now listen, Aftab Pourval is saying that when they hire professionals to work in the clerk of court's office, it won't just be nepotism. It won't just be friends of friends. However, he's going to put some of his friends, he's going to get the people that helped him get in office, his campaign manager. They're going to have positions down there. You know that. Everyone does it. Yeah, I read the article in the Sunday newspaper about that. Fayman writes, Gino got stole by a teammate. The players don't like him. And Andy Dalton is trash. But ain't nobody going to get to hooking off on him. Maddie writes, I can't wait for Black Panther to drop me either. Dare writes, Angela Bassett is Courtney's award that keeps on giving every year of his life. A damn Golden Globe can't come close. I know that's right, Daryl. It's a hell of an award. Woo! I'm going to give you Angela Bassett. There's got to be some downside to Angela Bassett. Maybe she got a bad attitude or something. B writes, as an underdog in this country, you have to make our own way. Work way more than everybody else and be way better than the majority. No one cares about the excuses and the past is gone. We need to learn from the past and create our future. And with that, my name is Nathan Ivey. Thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Shout out to my friends at SoulPublicRadio.com, my new friends, the X Squad affiliates, the good folks at Superlative Media that produce the Nathan Ivey Show, Team NI, the shoppers, and my patrons. Until next time, I'm out.